Welcome back, everyone, to the Animal Notebook channel. Today, we're diving into a brand new explainer that sets out to deconstruct one of the most recognizable yet deeply misunderstood animals on our planet. Ever since the 1950s, humanity has basically turned these incredible creatures into the ultimate plastic lawn ornament, a total symbol of suburban kitsch. But the truth about flamingos, it's far more fascinating and honestly a lot more intense than any plastic garden decoration could ever suggest. I mean, just look at this. When you see a flamingo, the immediate impression is just delicate beauty, right? You've got the elegant S-shaped neck, those spindly little legs, and of course, that impossibly vibrant plumage perfectly reflected in a tranquil sunset. But that peaceful aesthetic is totally hiding a set of hardcore survival skills. As we're about to uncover, these birds are highly specialized survivors, uniquely adapted to some of the absolute most unforgiving wetland environments on Earth. So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover diet and bizarre biology, extreme habitats, social life and family, and then finish up with our top 4 flamingo FAQs. All right, Section 1, Diet and Bizarre Biology. Let's start by looking beneath those pink feathers at their wildly specialized anatomy. Nature has engineered an absolute marvel here. And right off the bat, we've got to bust a massive myth. Everyone thinks they have these weird backward-bending knees. They don't. It's a total anatomical illusion that catches almost everyone off guard. What you're actually looking at, bending backward midway up their leg, that is literally their ankle joint. Their actual knee is hidden way higher up, just tucked away invisibly right beneath their body feathers. And check out this feeding setup. Notice how their beak curves dramatically downward. Thanks to 19 cervical vertebrae in their necks giving them insane flexibility, they actually feed completely upside down. They use their tongues like little pumps. Inside that beak are tiny comb-like structures called lamellae. So as they sweep their heads side to side in the shallows, they're pumping and filtering hundreds of liters of water every single day, trapping microscopic organisms and spitting out the mud. It's such a brilliantly efficient system, allowing them to pack in up to 270 grams of food daily. Now here's the crucial point. They are absolutely not born pink. In fact, chicks hatch covered in this pale gray or white down. Their iconic coloration is strictly diet dependent. It's basically a biological chain reaction. By eating algae, brine shrimp, and small crustaceans that are packed with beta-carotene, their liver processes those carotenoid pigments and deposits them directly into their skin and feathers. They are literally painting themselves that fiery color from the inside out. You might not know this, but there are actually 6 distinct species of flamingo globally, spread across 4 different continents: Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. And they vary remarkably in size, too. Down in the high Andes, you have the puna, or James's flamingo, standing around 3 feet tall. But then you look at the greater flamingo, found across Africa, Asia, and Europe, and those guys can tower up to 5 feet tall. Moving right along to Section 2, Extreme Habitats and Survival. Okay, so these birds definitely don't just live on manicured golf courses or perfectly balanced tropical lagoons. In reality, flamingos deliberately seek out incredibly harsh environments. We're talking about caustic alkaline lakes, extremely salty mudflats, and freezing high-altitude volcanic lagoons in Andes Mountains. Why? Because tolerating those extreme conditions drastically reduces competition for food and keeps predators like eagles, foxes, and wildcats totally at bay. But while they can handle nature's extremes, human-driven threats like massive water extraction, agricultural pollution, and habitat loss remain a very serious danger for them. Now, if you've ever wondered why they spend their lives standing and, remarkably, even sleeping on one leg, science actually has a really practical answer. It's a brilliant adaptation to conserve vital body heat. You see, water pulls heat away from the body way faster than air does. So by tucking one leg up into those warm feathers, they literally cut their heat loss in half. It's also believed to significantly reduce muscle fatigue, letting them stay perfectly balanced with almost zero effort. Which brings us to Section 3, Social Life and Family. Despite thriving in such desolate, seemingly unlivable wasteland places, flamingos are anything but isolated. These birds are deeply social and highly family-oriented. A massive group like the one you see here, it is appropriately called a flamboyance. And these aren't just small little gatherings. These colonies can be absolutely massive. At places like East Africa's Lake Natron, a single colony can number over 1 million birds. Within these giant flocks, they do these incredible synchronized courtship dances, performing complex moves like head flagging, marching in perfect unison, and sharp wing salutes just to find their monogamous mates for the season. Their parenting is just as fascinating. They build these tall, cone-shaped mud nests to protect their single egg from rising waters, and both parents take turns incubating. Once the chick hatches, they group together in little nurseries called creches. But here is the truly wild part. To feed them, both parents produce something called crop milk. It's this bright red, super fat and protein-rich secretion generated right from their esophagus. I know, it sounds alarming, but it's incredibly nutritious and sustains the gray chicks until their specialized beaks develop enough to filter feed on their own. All right, let's wrap this up with Section 4, Top 4 Flamingo FAQs. To conclude this animal notebook explainer, we promised you some rapid-fire answers to the top questions we get. Question 1. You almost always see them just wading slowly in the shallows, looking completely earthbound, right? So how fast can they actually fly? Surprisingly, they are incredibly powerful, active flyers. Hidden beneath those pink outer feathers are striking black flight feathers. When they need to migrate hundreds of miles to find new feeding grounds, they take to the skies and can easily hit cruising speeds of 35 miles per hour. Number 2. We know their specialized diet of algae and crustaceans makes them pink, but what happens if that specific food simply disappears? It's basically an instant visual health check. Without their specialized diet, a flamingo's feathers will completely fade out. Captive birds or malnourished wild birds that lose access to those carotenoid-rich foods will lose their vibrant pinkness entirely, turning a pale white or gray. That's exactly why animal sanctuaries and zoos have to carefully supplement their diets to keep them healthy and bright. Question 3. It is undeniably a really fun word to say, but where does the term flamingo actually originate? It's wonderfully literal. The most widely accepted origin is that it comes directly from the Latin word flamma, meaning flame. It also has ties to the Arabic word ferenj. Either way, it was coined by early observers who saw these massive flocks gathered on lakes and thought they literally looked like a blazing fire dancing on the water. And our final question, how long do these strange, beautiful birds actually live? Because they are such highly specialized survivors that deliberately inhabit zones where most predators just can't reach them, they have incredibly long lifespans for birds. They average a solid 20 to 30 years in the harshness of the wild. But in captivity, under ideal care, without the stress of extreme environments, they can easily live over a half-century.
Evolution is indeed strange, isn't it? We look at a plastic lawn ornament and totally miss the absolute biological masterpiece standing right behind it. It really leaves us to wonder what other bizarre biological secrets are hiding in plain sight in our own backyards, just waiting for us to take a closer look. Thanks for joining us for this Animal Notebook Explainer, and we will see you next time.